Welcome to my channel Bookish English 2. And before you skip this video, let me ask you something honestly. Have you ever studied English words again and again, but still forgot them when you needed them the most? Do you feel like your memory is weak, or maybe English is just too hard for you? If yes, then this video is exactly for you. Because today, I will show you a completely different way to remember English, without memorizing, without pressure, and without stress. And if you stay with me till the end, you will learn a simple method that can start changing your English from today, not after months, not after years, but starting right now. Chapter 1. The Memory Lie. You sit down to learn English. You open your notebook. You see a long list of words. You read them once. You read them twice. You repeat them again and again. You feel like you are doing something right. You feel like you are working hard. But then something strange happens. The next day, those same words feel new again. It is like you never saw them before. And in that moment, a quiet thought comes into your mind. Maybe I am not good at English. Maybe my memory is weak. Maybe this is not for me. And slowly, without even realizing, your confidence starts to go down. But let me tell you something very important, and I want you to listen carefully, because this can change everything for you. The problem is not your memory. The problem is not your brain. The problem is the method you are using. You were taught that memorizing means repeating words again and again. You were told that if you repeat something enough, it will stay in your mind. But your brain does not work like that. Your brain is not a machine. Your brain is human. It does not remember boring information. It remembers meaning. It remembers feelings. It remembers real life. Think about your own life for a moment. You remember your favorite food. You remember your best friend. You remember a happy day. You remember a sad moment. Did you memorize those things? Did you sit and repeat them 10 times? No. You lived them. You felt them. You experienced them. That is why they stayed in your mind. Your brain keeps what is important, and it decides importance based on meaning, not repetition. Now think about how you are learning English words. You take a word like apple. You say apple, 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 maybe 10 times, maybe 20 times. But for your brain, this word has no life. It has no story. It has no feeling. It is just a sound. So your brain says, this is not important, and it lets it go. That is why you forget. Not because you are weak, but because the word was empty. Now let us change this. Imagine you say, I eat an apple every morning. Now something is different. This is not just a word. This is your life. You can see it. You can feel it. Maybe you imagine your breakfast. Maybe you imagine your kitchen. Now your brain says, this is real. This is useful. This is important. And slowly, without force, without stress, the word apple starts to stay in your memory. This is the truth that many learners do not know. Memory is not about repeating more. Memory is about connecting more. When a word connects to your life, your brain holds it. When it stays alone, your brain drops it. It is that simple. But most learners never learn this. They keep repeating, they keep forgetting, and they think they are the problem. You are not the problem. You are just using the wrong way. And the moment you understand this, something powerful starts to happen inside you. You stop fighting with your memory. You stop forcing your brain. And instead, you start working with it. You start giving it what it needs: meaning, context, life. Look at children. They do not sit with word lists. They do not memorize dictionaries, but they remember thousands of words. Why? Because every word they learn is connected to something real. They hear it, they see it, they use it, they feel it. And slowly, naturally, their language grows. You can do the same. You do not need a special brain. You do not need a strong memory. You just need the right approach. So from today, stop asking, how can I memorize this word? Start asking, how can I use this word in my life? This one small change can open a completely new path for you. A path where learning feels easier. A path where words stay longer. A path where English becomes part of you, not something you fight with. And now I want you to think about one simple question. Not a difficult question. A very honest one. Do you really remember words? Or do you remember? Chapter 2. Words Need Life. Now let us go deeper into something very powerful. Something that can completely change the way you learn English from today. In the last chapter, you understood that repeating words again and again does not help your brain remember them for a long time. Now the next truth is even more important. Words cannot live alone. A single word is weak, but when you give it a place in your life, it becomes strong. Think about this carefully. When you see a word alone, your brain does not know what to do with it. It feels empty. It feels disconnected. It has no picture, no emotion, no purpose. But the moment you place that word inside a real sentence, something changes. Your brain wakes up. It starts to understand. It starts to connect. And that connection is what builds memory. Let us take a very simple example. Imagine you learn the word happy. You repeat it many times. Happy, happy, happy. But inside your mind, nothing really happens. There is no strong image. There is no personal feeling. It is just a sound. But now imagine you say, I feel happy when I talk to my best friend. Now your brain starts to work in a different way. You see your friend. You remember your conversation. You feel that small smile inside you. And now the word happy is not just a word anymore. It becomes part of your life. This is the moment when learning becomes real. Your brain is not designed to remember information. Your brain is designed to remember experiences. This is a very important difference. When you give your brain experience, it keeps it. When you give it empty information, it forgets it. That is why so many learners study for hours, but still feel stuck. They are collecting words, but they are not building experiences. And without experience, there is no strong memory. Now think about your daily life. You wake up. You eat. You walk. You talk. You feel tired. You feel excited. You meet people. You see things around you. Your life is full of simple moments. And these moments are the best place to learn English. Because they are real. They are meaningful. They are already inside your brain. You do not need to create anything new. You just need to connect English with what you are already living. For example, instead of learning the word hungry alone, say, I am hungry right now. Instead of learning the word busy, say, I am busy with my work today. Instead of learning the word cold, say, it is cold this morning. These sentences are simple, very simple, but they are powerful because they belong to your life. And when something belongs to your life, your brain does not want to lose it. Another important thing you need to understand is this. Your brain loves personal stories. Even a small sentence becomes powerful when it feels personal. If you say, he is tired, your brain may not feel much. But if you say, I am tired after a long day, now it feels real. Because it is about you. And your brain always cares more about you than anything else. This is why personal learning is stronger than general learning. Many learners make a big mistake. They try to learn English like a subject, like something outside their life. They read books, they memorize lists, they watch videos, but they do not bring English into their own world. And because of that, English always feels far. It feels difficult. It feels heavy. But the moment you start using English for your own life, everything becomes lighter. everything becomes easier. You do not need big sentences. You do not need perfect grammar. You just need simple, real sentences. Sentences that you can feel. Sentences that you can imagine. Sentences that you can say again and again in your daily life. This is how words start living inside you, not as information, but as part of your thinking. Let me tell you something very honest. You will not remember every word you study, and that is okay. You are not supposed to remember everything. You are supposed to remember what you use. This is how language works. This is how natural learning works. When you use a word again and again in your life, it becomes yours. And once it becomes yours, you do not need to memorize it anymore. So from today, change one small habit. Do not write long word lists. Do not try to memorize everything. Instead, take one word and give it life. Connect it to your day. Connect it to your feelings. Connect it to your actions. Make it part of your world. Even one small sentence is enough. But it should be real. It should be yours. And slowly, something beautiful will start happening. Words will stop feeling like strangers. They will start feeling like friends. You will not force yourself to remember them. They will stay with you naturally. And your English will begin to grow, not because you are trying harder, but because you are learning smarter. Now take a moment and do something simple. Think about your day today. Just one moment. Maybe your morning, maybe your lunch, maybe something you felt. Now try to say it in one simple English sentence. Do not worry about mistakes. Do not try to be perfect. Just say it, because this is where real learning begins, not in memorizing, but in living the language. And when you start living English like this, you will notice something interesting. Words will come to your mind faster. You will not search for them again and again. They will be ready for you, waiting for you, because now they are not just words, they are part of your life. And now a small thought for you to carry forward. If one word becomes strong when it enters your life, what will happen when many words start forming patterns together inside your mind? Chapter 3: The Sentence Rule. Now something very important is about to become clear for you, and once you truly understand this, your learning will become faster, easier, and much more natural. Most learners believe that words are the building blocks of English, so they try to collect as many words as possible. They think that if they know more words, they will speak better. This sounds logical, but in reality, this is where many learners get stuck. Because your brain does not work best with single words. Your brain works best with patterns, and a sentence is a pattern. A sentence gives structure. A sentence gives meaning. A sentence shows how words live together. That is why remembering sentences is much easier than remembering isolated words. Think about this carefully. If I give you 10 separate words, your brain has to work hard. It has to understand each word, store each word, and then try to connect them later. This is a lot of work, and because there is no clear connection, your brain quickly forgets. But if I give you one simple sentence, something changes. The words are already connected. The meaning is already clear. Your brain does not need to build anything. It just understands. And when your brain understands easily, it remembers easily. Let us take a simple example. Imagine you try to memorize these words. Wake early morning, tired, coffee. You repeat them again and again, but they still feel separate. They feel disconnected. Now look at this sentence. I wake up early in the morning and drink coffee. Because I feel tired. Now suddenly everything makes sense. The words are not alone anymore. They are working together. They are telling a story. And your brain loves stories, even very small ones like this. That is why this sentence is easier to remember than 5 separate words. This is the power of sentences. One sentence can carry many words, but it feels lighter, not heavier. It feels easier, not harder. And this is exactly what you need as a learner. You do not need more difficulty. You need simplicity. You need clarity. You need something your brain can hold without stress. And sentences give you that. Another important thing happens when you learn sentences. You do not just learn words. You also learn how to use them. This is something many learners miss. They know many words, but they do not know how to put them together. So when they try to speak, they stop. They think too much. They translate. They feel slow. But when you learn sentences, your brain starts to copy patterns. It learns how English flows. It learns where words go. And slowly, without effort, your speaking becomes more natural. You do not need perfect sentences. You do not need long sentences. Even very small sentences are powerful. I feel tired today. I like this food. I am going to work. These are simple sentences, but they are complete. They have meaning. They have structure. And most importantly, they are easy to remember because they feel real. Your brain does not struggle with them. Now let me show you something very interesting. Imagine you learn 3 simple sentences in one day. Not 10 words, not 20 words, just 3 sentences. Each sentence has 5 or 6 words. That means you are learning 15 to 18 words, but you are learning them in a connected way. And because they are connected, your brain keeps them longer. This is smarter learning. This is easier learning. This is real learning. And here is something even more powerful. When you remember one sentence, you can change it. You can play with it. For example, I eat rice every day. You can change it to I eat bread every day. You can say I eat rice at night. You can say I eat rice with my family. One sentence becomes many sentences. One pattern becomes many patterns. And suddenly, your English starts growing without you memorizing more and more words. This is how fluency begins. Not from memorizing thousands of words, but from understanding a few simple patterns deeply. When your brain becomes comfortable with patterns, it stops feeling afraid. It stops slowing you down. It starts helping you. And speaking becomes easier. Many learners feel pressure. They think they need to know everything before they speak. But that is not true. You do not need everything. You just need something that works. And sentences work. They give you a complete idea. They give you confidence. They give you a starting point. And from that starting point, your English can grow naturally. So from today, make one small change. Do not focus on words alone. Focus on sentences. Learn one sentence. Understand it. Feel it. Say it again and again. Use it in your day. And slowly, you will notice something beautiful. Words will stop escaping your mind. They will stay. They will come back easily. Because now they are part of a pattern, not just isolated pieces. Take a moment now and try something simple. Do not think too much. Just say one sentence about your day. Maybe I woke up early today. Maybe I feel a little tired. Maybe I am learning English right now. This is enough. This is real learning. This is how your brain becomes stronger, not by force, but by understanding. And now think about this. If one simple sentence can carry many words and make them easier to remember, what will happen when you start adding feeling to those sentences? Chapter 4. Feel the word. Now something deeper begins to happen in your learning. Something that most learners never discover, and this is the reason why some people remember English naturally, while others struggle again and again. Until now, you have understood that words need life, and sentences make learning easier. But there is one more layer that makes memory even stronger, and that layer is feeling. When a word has emotion, your brain treats it differently. It gives it importance. It holds it longer. It does not let it go easily. But when a word has no feeling, Your brain treats it like noise, like something unimportant, and it slowly disappears. Think about your own life again. You remember moments that made you happy. You remember moments that made you nervous. You remember moments that made you excited or even scared. These memories stay with you for a long time, sometimes forever. But you forget things that feel empty, things that do not touch you. This is exactly how your brain works with language as well. When a word connects with a feeling, it becomes strong. When it stays neutral and cold, it becomes weak. Let us take a very simple word like tired. If you just repeat the word tired again and again, it feels flat. There is no picture, no emotion, no connection. But now say, I am very tired after a long day. Now something changes inside your mind. You can feel it. Maybe you remember a day when you worked a lot. Maybe you remember coming home late. Maybe you remember sitting down and taking a deep breath. Now the word tired is not just a word. It becomes a feeling you know. And because you know it, your brain keeps it. This is the secret many learners miss. They learn English like robots. They read words without emotion. They repeat sentences without feeling. Their voice is flat. Their mind is disconnected. And because of that, their memory stays weak. But language is not just information. Language is human. It carries emotions, thoughts, and experiences. When you remove emotion, you remove the power of language. Now imagine you say, I am excited to learn English. If you say it like a robot, it will not stay long. But if you say it with real feeling, if you smile a little, if you imagine your future, if you feel that small energy inside you, then your brain marks this sentence as important. And slowly, it becomes part of you. This is how real learning happens. You do not need to act like an actor. You do not need to be perfect. You just need to feel a little. Even a small emotion is enough. When you say, I am hungry, feel that hunger. When you say, I am happy, feel that happiness. When you say, I am tired, remember your day. This small connection changes everything. Because now your brain is not just hearing words, it is experiencing them. Another powerful thing happens when you learn with feeling. Your speaking becomes more natural. When you speak without emotion, your voice feels slow and heavy. But when you speak with feeling, your words flow more easily. Your sentences sound more real, and people understand you better. This is because emotion gives energy to language. It brings it to life. Many learners are afraid to speak. They think they need perfect grammar. They think they need perfect pronunciation. But the truth is, communication is not about perfection. It is about connection. And emotion creates that connection. Even if your sentence is simple, even if it is not perfect, if you speak with feeling, it becomes meaningful. It becomes powerful. Now think about your learning again. Every time you learn a new sentence, do not just read it, do not just repeat it. Feel it. Connect it to your life. Imagine it. Live it for a moment. This takes only a few seconds, but it makes your memory much stronger. This is the difference between forcing your brain and working with your brain. Let me tell you something very encouraging. You already have emotions. You already feel things every day. You do not need to learn this. You just need to bring English into what you already feel. That is why this method is simple. That is why it works for beginners and intermediate learners. Because it does not add pressure. It uses what you already have inside you. Now take a small moment and try something simple. Think about how you feel right now. Maybe you feel relaxed. Maybe you feel curious. Maybe you feel a little tired. Now say it in English. I feel relaxed. I feel curious. I feel a little tired. Say it slowly. Say it with feeling. This is real practice. This is real learning. And as you continue like this, something beautiful will start happening. Words will not feel like something you need to remember. They will feel like something you understand. They will stay with you because they belong to your emotions. And when something belongs to your emotions, it becomes part of you. So from today, do not just learn words. Do not just learn sentences. Feel them. Because feeling is the bridge between learning and remembering. And once you cross that bridge, your English will stop feeling difficult and start feeling natural. Now think about this carefully. If feeling makes words stronger, what will happen when you start repeating those meaningful sentences again and again in your daily life? Chapter 5. Repeat with meaning. Now you are about to understand one of the most misunderstood ideas in learning English, something that almost every learner hears but very few truly understand. You have heard this many times. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Practice more. Say it again. And this advice is not wrong, but it is incomplete, because repetition alone does not build strong memory. Repetition without meaning becomes boring, and when something is boring, your brain slowly stops paying attention. That is why many learners repeat words and sentences again and again, but still forget them. The problem is not repetition, the problem is empty repetition. Think about this carefully. If you say a word 10 times without understanding it deeply, your brain hears it, but it does not accept it. It feels like noise. It feels like something not useful. And because your brain wants to save energy, it decides to ignore it. This is natural. This is how your brain protects you from useless information. But when repetition has meaning, everything changes. When you repeat something that connects to your life, your brain starts to recognize it as important. It starts to keep it. Let us take a simple example again. Imagine you repeat the word coffee again and again. Coffee, coffee, coffee. After some time, you feel tired. Your mind starts to wander. You lose focus. But now imagine you say, I drink coffee every morning. Now this is different. This is not just a word. This is your habit. This is your life. You can imagine your morning. You can see the cup. You can feel the taste. And now when you repeat this sentence, your brain stays active. It stays connected. And because of that, the memory becomes stronger. This is what meaningful repetition looks like. It is not just saying something many times. It is saying something that matters to you many times. And this small difference changes everything. Because now repetition does not feel boring. It feels useful. It feels natural. It feels like something you want to say, not something you are forced to say. Many learners quit because they feel bored. They feel tired of repeating the same things. But the real reason is not repetition itself. The real reason is that what they are repeating has no meaning for them. It is not connected to their life. It is not connected to their emotions. It is just empty practice. And empty practice cannot give strong results. Now let us make this simple and practical for you. Instead of repeating random words, choose one useful sentence. A sentence you can use in your daily life. Something like, I am learning English every day, or I feel tired after work, or I like watching videos in English. These sentences are simple, but they are real. They are yours. And when you repeat them, your brain understands why they matter. Say the sentence slowly. Say it clearly. Say it with a little feeling. Do not rush. Do not try to finish quickly. Stay with the sentence for a few moments. Repeat it 3 times, 5 times, maybe even 10 times. But every time you say it, understand it. Feel it. Imagine it. This is meaningful repetition. This is smart practice. Another powerful thing about meaningful repetition is that it builds confidence. When you repeat a sentence that you understand, you start to feel comfortable with it. It becomes familiar. And when something feels familiar, you are not afraid to use it. This is how speaking becomes easier. Not by learning more and more, but by becoming comfortable with what you already know. And here is something very important. You do not need to repeat many sentences. Even one sentence is enough if you repeat it with meaning. Quality is more important than quantity. One strong sentence is better than 10 weak words. Because that one sentence stays with you. It becomes part of your thinking. It becomes part of your speaking. Now imagine doing this every day. Just one or two sentences. You repeat them with meaning. You use them in your day. You feel them. You understand them. After a few days, you do not need to repeat them anymore. They are already inside you. They come to your mind naturally. And this is the moment when learning becomes effortless. This is how language grows. Slowly, step by step, with small but meaningful actions. Not with pressure, not with stress, but with understanding and consistency. And once you start learning like this, you will notice that you do not forget as easily as before. Because now your brain is not just hearing words, it is accepting them. Let me give you one simple routine you can start today. Choose one sentence in the morning. Something real, something you can use. Repeat it 5 times with meaning. Then try to use it during your day. Maybe you say it to yourself. Maybe you think it in your mind. Maybe you say it in front of a mirror. At night, repeat it again. This takes only a few minutes, but it creates a strong memory. You do not need hours of study. You just need a few minutes of the right practice. And meaningful repetition is that practice. It is simple. It is natural. It works with your brain, not against it. So from today, do not repeat words without thinking. Do not force your brain. Give it something meaningful. Give it something real. And then repeat it. Because when repetition meets meaning, memory becomes strong. And when memory becomes strong, your English becomes stable. Now take a small moment and try this. Think of one sentence about your day. Just one. Say it slowly. Repeat it a few times. Feel it. Understand it. This is all you need to start changing the way you learn. And now think about this. If repeating meaningful sentences makes them stay in your memory, what will happen when you start speaking those sentences out loud, instead of just repeating them silently? Chapter 6. Speak to remember. Now we reach a turning point in your learning, a moment where everything you have understood until now starts becoming real in your daily life. You have learned that words need life, sentences make things easier, feeling makes memory stronger, and repetition builds stability. But there is one action that brings all of this together, and that action is speaking. Speaking is not just a result of learning. Speaking is a part of learning. In fact, speaking is one of the fastest ways to build memory. When you speak, your brain becomes active. It does not stay quiet. It does not stay passive. It starts working harder, and because of that, it remembers more. Many learners spend a lot of time reading and listening. They watch videos. They read sentences. They understand many things. But when it comes to speaking, they stop. They hesitate. They feel slow. This is not because they do not know English. It is because they have not trained their brain to use English actively. Passive learning gives you knowledge, but active use gives you memory. And speaking is active use. When you speak a sentence, something powerful happens inside your brain. You are not just seeing the words. You are not just hearing them. You are producing them. You are building them in real time. This process creates a stronger connection in your mind. It tells your brain, this is important. I am using this. Keep it. And slowly, with repeated speaking, your brain starts to hold these sentences more naturally. Now many learners feel afraid of speaking. They think they need someone to talk to. They think they need a perfect environment. They think they need confidence first. But this is where they get stuck. Because confidence does not come before speaking. Confidence comes from speaking. Even if you speak alone, it works. Even if you speak to yourself, it works. Your brain does not care if someone is listening. It cares that you are using the language. Let me show you how simple this can be. You wake up in the morning and you say, "I feel sleepy today." You look around your room and you say, "My room is a little messy." You go to the kitchen and you say, "I am making tea." These are small sentences, very simple, but they are real, and when you say them out loud, your brain starts building a habit of thinking and speaking in English. This is called self-talk, and it is one of the most powerful tools you have, because it is always available. You do not need a partner. You do not need a classroom. You do not need anything special. You just need your voice, and your voice is enough to train your brain. Another powerful method is mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and speak simple sentences about your day. You can say, "Today I am feeling good," or "I want to improve my English," or "I am trying my best." When you see yourself and hear yourself at the same time, your brain creates a stronger connection. It feels more real, it feels more personal, and because of that, your memory becomes stronger. At the beginning, you may feel a little strange. You may feel uncomfortable. This is normal. Every new habit feels strange at first. But if you continue, this feeling disappears and something new replaces it. Comfort, confidence, ease. Speaking starts to feel natural. Now let me tell you something very important. You do not need to speak perfectly. You do not need to speak fast. You do not need to speak without mistakes. What you need is consistency. Even if your sentence is small, even if it is not perfect, say it. Because every time you speak, you are training your brain. You are making it stronger. And here is something beautiful. When you speak regularly, your memory improves automatically. Words come faster. Sentences feel easier. You do not search too much. You do not struggle as much. This is because your brain is getting used to the language. It is becoming comfortable with it. Many learners wait for the right time to speak. They say, "I will speak when I know more. I will speak when I feel ready." But the truth is, you become ready by speaking, not before it. Speaking is not the final step. It is the path itself. So from today, start small. Do not try to speak for hours. Do not put pressure on yourself. Just speak a few sentences. Say them clearly. Say them with feeling. Say them every day. This small habit can change your learning completely. Now take a moment and try something very simple. Look around you and say one sentence out loud. Just one. It can be about anything. I am sitting on a chair. I am holding my phone. I am watching this video. This is enough. This is how it starts. And this is how it grows. As you continue doing this, you will notice something powerful. English will stop feeling like something you study. It will start feeling like something you use. And when you start using English, your brain naturally remembers it. Because now it is part of your daily life. So do not wait. Do not think too much. Use your voice. Because your voice is the key that unlocks your memory. And now think about this. If speaking helps you remember faster, what will happen when you combine this speaking habit with a simple daily system that you follow every day without stress? Chapter 7. Your daily system. Now everything you have learned until this point starts coming together in a very simple and practical way, because understanding is powerful, but without a system, it can slowly disappear. You may feel motivated today. You may feel inspired right now. But if there is no clear daily action, this feeling can fade. That is why you need something small, something simple, something you can follow every day without stress. Not a big plan, not a heavy routine, just a small system that fits into your life easily. Because real progress does not come from doing a lot one day, it comes from doing a little every day. Many learners make a common mistake. They try to do too much. They study for 1 or 2 hours. They feel tired. They lose energy. And after a few days, they stop completely. This creates a cycle of starting and stopping again and again. But your brain does not grow in this way. Your brain grows with consistency. Small actions repeated daily become strong habits, and strong habits create real change. Now imagine a different approach. Instead of trying to learn everything, you focus on just a few things every day. You take 3 simple sentences, not difficult sentences, not perfect sentences, just simple ones that you can understand and feel. For example, I am learning English every day. I feel a little tired today. I want to improve my speaking. These sentences are easy, but they are meaningful. They belong to your life. In the morning, you read these sentences. You say them slowly. You understand them. You feel them. You repeat them a few times, not like a robot, but with awareness. Then during your day, you try to use them. Maybe you say them to yourself. Maybe you think them in your mind. Maybe you say them in front of a mirror. And at night, you repeat them again. This is your system. Simple, clear, and easy to follow. This whole process takes only a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes in total, but it creates a powerful effect. Because you are not just learning, you are using, repeating, and feeling at the same time. This combination builds strong memory. And because the system is small, you can do it every day without feeling tired or bored. Another important part of this system is consistency. Do not skip days. Do not wait for motivation. Just follow the system. Even if you feel lazy, even if you feel busy, do your small practice. Because when you keep going, even with small steps, your brain starts building a habit. And once it becomes a habit, it becomes easier. You do not need to force yourself anymore. Now imagine doing this for 1 week. You will start noticing small changes. Words feel more familiar. Sentences come to your mind faster. You feel a little more confident. Now imagine doing this for 1 month. The change becomes bigger. English starts feeling natural. You do not struggle as much. You do not forget as easily. This is the power of a simple system. Many learners are looking for fast results. They want to become fluent quickly. But real fluency is built slowly, step by step. It is like building a strong wall. You place one brick at a time, but if you do it every day, the wall becomes strong. Your daily system is that brick. Small, but powerful. And here is something very important. Your system should feel easy. If it feels heavy, you will stop. If it feels simple, you will continue. So do not try to make it perfect. Do not try to add too many things. Keep it small. Keep it clear. Keep it consistent. You can also adjust your system based on your life. If you have more time, you can add one more sentence. If you feel comfortable, you can speak a little more. But the base should always stay simple, because simplicity is what keeps you moving. Now take a moment and think about your own day. Where can you fit these 10 minutes? Maybe in the morning, maybe before sleeping, maybe during a break. Choose a time that works for you, and make it your English time. A small moment every day where you connect with the language. This is not just practice. This is a habit you are building. A habit that slowly changes the way you think. A habit that slowly changes the way you speak. And over time, this habit becomes part of your identity. You are no longer someone who is trying to learn English. You are someone who uses English every day. And this is where the real transformation begins. Not in one big moment, but in small daily actions that grow into something powerful. You do not need to rush. You just need to continue. So from today, do not look for big changes. Focus on your small system. Follow it daily. Trust the process. Because when you stay consistent, your progress becomes automatic. Now think about this. If you follow this simple system every day, and your brain starts remembering English naturally without effort, what does that say about the kind of learner you are becoming? Chapter 8. Your new brain. Now take a deep breath and just pause for a moment, because something important has already started changing inside you. Maybe you did not notice it clearly, maybe it feels small right now, but it is real. The way you see English is no longer the same. Before, English felt like something heavy, something you had to memorize, something you had to force into your mind. It felt like pressure. It felt like effort. It felt like something outside you. But now, slowly, that feeling is changing. Now you are beginning to see English as something you can live, something you can feel, something you can use in your daily life. You are not trying to remember words anymore. You are understanding them. You are not repeating without thinking. You are connecting. You are not waiting to be perfect. You are already using simple sentences. And this small shift is powerful because it changes everything. When your approach changes, your results change. When your mindset changes, your progress becomes easier. Think about where you were before. You were memorizing words again and again. You were forgetting them again and again. You were feeling frustrated. Maybe you even thought that your memory was weak. Maybe you felt that English is too difficult for you. But now you know the truth. Your brain was never the problem. You were just using the wrong method. And now you have a better way. A way that works with your brain, not against it. Now you understand that words need life. You understand that sentences are easier than isolated words. You understand that feeling makes memory stronger. You understand that repetition must have meaning. You understand that speaking builds memory faster. And most importantly, you now have a simple daily system that you can follow without stress. These are not just ideas. These are tools. These are habits. And when you use these habits every day, they start shaping your brain. Your brain is not fixed. It changes with your actions. Every time you use a sentence, every time you feel a word, every time you speak, you are building new connections inside your mind. At first, these connections are small. They feel weak. But with time, they become stronger. They become faster. And one day, you will notice something surprising. English will come to you naturally, without force, without stress, without thinking too much. This is what it means to have a new brain for English. Not a different brain, but a trained brain. A brain that is comfortable with the language. A brain that does not panic when you try to speak. A brain that does not forget everything the next day. A brain that supports you instead of stopping you. And here is something very important. You do not need to rush this process. You do not need to compare yourself with others. Everyone moves at their own speed. What matters is that you are moving. Even small progress is progress. Even one sentence a day is growth. Because these small steps are building something bigger inside you. Now imagine yourself after 1 month of following this method. You wake up, and English does not feel strange anymore. You can say simple sentences without fear. You can understand more than before. You can express small thoughts. And most importantly, you feel confident. Not perfect, but confident. And that confidence is what keeps you going. And if you continue for 2 months, 3 months, the change becomes even stronger. Your sentences become smoother. Your thinking becomes faster. You stop translating everything. You start thinking directly in English. And this is the moment where many learners feel a big breakthrough. Not because they learned everything, but because they finally learned the right way. So do not stop here. Do not go back to old habits. Keep using what you have learned. Keep your system simple. Keep your practice real. Keep your sentences connected to your life. Because this is your path now. A natural path. A human path. A path that works. Now I want you to do something very simple, but very powerful. Say one sentence in English right now. Just one. Something about your life. Something real. And when you say it, feel proud. Because that one sentence is not small. It is proof that you are changing. It is proof that your brain is learning in a new way. You are not the same learner anymore. You are someone who understands. You are someone who uses. You are someone who is growing. And this is just the beginning. Now keep going. Keep practicing. Keep building your English every day. Because your English brain is awake now, and it will only become stronger from here. Before you leave, just take a moment and think about what you did today. You did not just watch a video. You understood something that many learners never understand. You changed the way you see English. And that is not a small thing. That is the beginning of a real transformation. I want you to remember this feeling, this clarity, this small confidence growing inside you right now, because this is where your journey becomes different from others. You are not alone in this journey. Every day I am here to guide you, to simplify things for you, to make English feel easy, natural, and part of your life. I do not want you to feel confused. I do not want you to feel lost. I want you to feel clear, confident, and moving forward step by step. And if you stay connected with this channel, if you keep showing up, if you keep practicing even a little every day, I promise you, your English will change. Not by magic, but by simple methods that truly work. So now, do one small thing. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Speak one sentence. Feel one word. Use one idea from this video. Because action is what creates change, not just watching. And if this video helped you even a little, stay connected. This is your place to grow. This is your space to become confident in English. And together, step by step, we will make your English stronger, clearer, and more natural every single day. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.